Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Corral. In response to my own video about Dunatar Castle, where I talk about the castle and its beautiful location on the North Sea, I was thinking obviously about nautical adventures. And so I thought I would readdress that issue and do a quick little survey here of some of the things I have at hand. In the past, I don't know a booktuber that hasn't done this. We've talked about Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. I have episodes about Stevenson, and this is one of his great books. No surprise there. I previously also covered Raphael Sabatini's Captain Blood. Between Captain Blood and Treasure Island, you have two of the great pirate novels ever written, really great adventure stories, and there are many others. In recent years, Patrick O'Brian, in his fantastic series, this is the first, I believe this was the first, Master and Commander, and it's interesting because I saw Richardson Reads did an episode about Patrick O'Brian, and it was so wonderful because he has all of the different editions in the set. I've never read them all, so for 2026, I've determined that I'm not only going to read the rest of these. I think I've read about 6. I'm going to read them all. And then I'm going to finish reading the Alexander Kent series, which is also a great series. And between these two authors, 2026 is pretty much taken care of, because again, I've read these authors, but I haven't read everything. That's a mistake on my part because they're so good. So I'll be doing that in 2026. I don't know if I'll do an episode or not. If I pick out some favorites, I know I did a brief episode already a couple of years back, and it was when I was learning how to do booktubing, as they call it, and I'm still not very good at it. A couple of books today, though, I would like to recommend. So first up, I wanted to show you this one. This is Lafitte, the Pirate of the Gulf by Colonel Prentice Ingraham. This is a 1931 copyrighted pulp paperback novel, copyrighted 1931 from the Arthur Westbrook Company. Arthur Westbrook Company was out of Cleveland, Ohio, and they put out these incredibly cheap novels, often reprints. So for Colonel Prentice Ingraham, he was born in 1843 and he died in 1904. He was a friend of Buffalo Bill Cody. He wrote over 150 dime novels about Buffalo Bill, with Buffalo Bill's permission. He worked for Buffalo Bill's Wild West program, his show, and he wrote many other books too, as well. He was a prolific dime novelist, and this one must be a reprint because this is copyrighted in 1931 from the Westbrook Company, and of course, the Colonel was gone by then. Now, the reason I'm showing this is not a great book. It's not a very interesting book. Lafitte, obviously, Jean Lafitte is a real historical character, and there are numerous biographies of him, and there was a movie with Yul Brynner and Charlton Heston in the late 50s, which is actually quite good, flashy and colorful, probably not historically accurate film. But anyways, he's one of the historical figures with the pirate label attached that's interesting. So I wanted to show you this. I don't think that the Colonel was a great writer. I've read some of the Buffalo Bill books. They were reprinted in paperback, gosh, I don't know, decades ago. I don't know if they all were, but many were. And they just weren't very good. They're just okay. This is just okay. It's an oddity, if you're interested in these. What's more interesting is the publisher. Arthur Westbrook specialized in these cheap pulp novels, and they even did some Arthur Conan Doyle reprints, I believe, which are kind of sought after by collectors. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because the theme here is piratical stories and tales of the sea again, which I always enjoy. But I had said numerous times on this channel, don't walk past an antique shop without going in and looking. And I walked into an antique shop a couple of years ago, and I found a stack of the Arthur Westbrook Company pulp novels for $5 each. most of them in better shape than this one. This one, the cover is ready to detach. This is pretty low grade. None of them that I have are high grade. They were cheaply produced for a reason. This one has a cover price of 15 cents. So I bought a stack of these Arthur Westbrook Company novels, and I'll do an episode about those later. I haven't finished reading that stack. When I finish it, maybe next year, well, sometime next year, certainly I'll do an episode about it. It won't be this year. So anyways, an oddity in Tales of the Sea, Jean Lafitte, The Pirate of the Gulf by Colonel Prentice Ingraham. Voices in people from the past. All right, I think I've talked about William Gilkerson before. Pirate's Passage is an award-winning book. He was an American-Canadian author and an artist, and he illustrated his own books. And here's the cover page. And he was noted for his illustrations and paintings. He wrote numerous history books about nautical matters and historical matters, and quite a talented guy. He is no longer with us. He died in 2015, and that's really sad. This is basically his version of Treasure Island. Almost the same plot, identical, except the difference is we have Charles Johnson, who is a real figure, shows up as in the late 50s, modern times here, and he teaches young Jim, of course, about the true story of pirates. So there's a little twist on it. There is some coming of age aspects to this. It's a great book, an award-winning book, the New York Library Association Book of the Season Award, and the Governor's General Literary Award for Children's Literature. This book, I don't believe, has ever gone out of print. It might have a different cover. Again, it was illustrated by Mr. William Gilkerson himself, and he is some great artist, I'm telling you. So the chapter headings all have drawings by him. If you're interested in this type of thing, this is really a great book. I have a couple of his histories too, but I think they're in storage because I couldn't find them. My favorite book by William Gilkerson, and I know I've mentioned this book before, is Ultimate Voyage, a Book of Five Mariners, which he illustrated completely. That's his painting on the cover. The end papers on this, let me take a look. That's him doing this. He was such a talented artist and a great writer. This is a book, a coming-of-age story about 5 young men at sea. And you need to find it. It's published by Shambhala Press. And, God, this is a book I've read every couple of years. When was it first published? This is a first edition. 1998. And the same thing, when he does his illustrations for his books, he gives a chapter heading to it, and he illustrates them throughout. As a writer, he's excellent, and this is my favorite of his books that I've read, is Ultimate Voyage, a book of 5 mariners. If you get a chance to pick this beautiful book up, this is still in print from Shambhala, and William Gilkerson right here, he made his name with this book as far as I'm concerned. This is really a masterpiece of adventure fiction with beautiful illustrations by the man himself, and he is represented. There's a picture of him on the flyleaf, and it's a shame. He did so many paintings of ships and so many other things too, and the illustrations are original to him. So I wanted to get that plug in again. That's a book that I've promoted before. I'll probably mention it again sometime in the future because I love that book so much. William Gilkerson, the writer and the artist. All right, a couple of nonfiction. How about Pirate Hunter, the true story of Captain Kidd by Richard Zacks? This is a great nonfiction biography of Captain Kidd. I found it enlightening when I read it, and it has, what was the date on this? It was 2002. So this goes back a way. He has chapter headings, and they all look the same. This is a really good, comprehensive nonfiction work with an index and a bibliography. And the index and bibliography and acknowledgments are extensive. So if you're interested if you are interested in a really well done biography of Captain Kidd, this is the true story, for sure. Gotta love it. Then I have Under the Black Flag. This is the romance and reality of life among the pirates by David Cordingley. This is a general all-purpose nonfiction work with illustrations and photographs. It is what they call a survey history. And survey histories are a thing of the past. I'm really kind of surprised. What was the year on this one? Survey histories used to be the thing in nonfiction. You didn't have to do a concentrated, long biography on one topic. You could do a survey on the topic in general, which is what this is. This is something that's not done very often today. They're out of favor. This is 1995. So this goes back way, way back. But you know what? This is a good introduction to the era of pirates on the high seas. If you're interested in learning more, you could start here. You could do the Captain Kidd book and get into that. I enjoyed both of those books tremendously. And then finally, I want to know if any of my viewers remember this. National Geographic did a traveling tour called The Real Pirates. The untold story of the slave ship, which the book, I bought the book, and it came to, this book is called 1717 Real Pirates. And it was National Geographic, and they even had, this was at the Field Museum in Chicago, and they even had a partial replica of the ship that you could go on. And it was fascinating. It was incredibly fascinating to see it. And I even still have my tickets to this. And the Field Museum, so this was August 7th, 2009. My wife and I went to this. And my wife and I and my daughter went to this at the Field Museum in Chicago for this exhibit. And the book is heavily illustrated. It's a good text. It shows all of the main things that you would have seen in the exhibit. Did this exhibit come to your city? Did you get to see it? I'd be interested in knowing what you thought of it. I remember it. I bought the book. I saved the damn tickets. The book is pretty good. Really informative history of the ship. And there you go. Nonfiction has a very strong place on the shelves in this library. Pirates have a very strong place on the shelves in this library of mine, and rebels and outlaws of all types. So just a quick promotion to look into some non-fiction on the history of the high seas. I couldn't help but think of that when I was in Scotland at Dunatar Castle or Blackness Castle, when I was looking out across the Firth of Forth, and I know Robert Louis Stevenson had been there as a young man, and I was wondering, how did he feel when he was looking across the Firth of Forth at Blackness Castle and to see those tall ships with the sails coming in? Can you imagine what that looked like? 1880 era, 1870 era. Good God. The wind catching the sails of those ships, and Robert Louis Stevenson and others too, that would have witnessed this around the United Kingdom and on the coastline of Europe in general, in England as well. Things to ponder, things to look into for those of you that are interested in the fiction, the films, and of course the nonfiction, to educate us, enlighten us, and to continue to inspire us. And thank you so very much for checking in today. Stay well, my friends. Stay happy. Feed your beautiful minds. Read a book.